I want to introduce a concept today that some might consider a character flaw, and I guess it is if you have it your whole life. My name is William Hutchison. I'm the owner of the two real estate companies, along with my wife, that you see in the thumbnail. And speaking of the thumbnail, isn't that mural beautiful? It's just been completed. It's on the entrance to a Finca Hotel in Salento. I took the photo yesterday, and it shows some of the bird life. There's 1,900 different species here that have been recorded in Colombia, the most in the world in one country. I want to introduce the concept of one becoming selfish if they want to live the rest of their lives basically for themselves. The life cycle for many is raise a family. The children get old enough to move out, have families of their own. And what happens next? It's looking after parents. Many of the people now approaching retirement age, perhaps retired, are closely connected to grandchildren. Very understandable. And the ties that you have made and developed over 30 or 40 years come into the picture as well. You have friends that long. You've perhaps worked in the same place and have good friends and social contacts where you've worked. It's very, very difficult, I know, to stop the ties that you've developed over a long period of time and decide to move to a foreign country. The one thing I will say is through social media now, there's many ways to stay in touch. The other thing that you might want to consider is it's not expensive to get to Colombia. Once you're in Fort Lauderdale, I know there's connecting flights to Fort Lauderdale, but return on Spirit direct to Armenia is around $700. For most people, that's inexpensive enough that maybe your family can make a couple of trips here a year. It's not anything that on a regular basis is going to break the bank. The big question that I get often is, okay, Bill, I'm going to retire to Colombia, but what do I do while I'm there? I work 40 hours a week, some weeks 50 hours maybe, and I have all that time on my hands now. There's a lot of things that you can do here. Colombia rated the third most beautiful country in the world behind Indonesia and New Zealand. You could travel around Colombia. You don't need a car. Buses are frequent. They're beautiful. Some are double-decker, the most modern. You can travel around Colombia by bus. There's a lot of natural things to see. The country's beautiful. There's no question about that. Everyone has skills. Maybe you can transfer the skills that you used at work and help Colombian people themselves. Maybe you ladies have a hobby that you've practiced for a number of years that you can pass on to Colombian women, and perhaps they can produce goods for sale to better their lifestyle. There's many things that maybe you wanted to do. and you haven't had the time, maybe you haven't had the money to do them. Maybe you want to try painting, watercolors or oils. Maybe you want to try woodworking. I read an article today on Wikipedia about a gentleman by the name of Richard Hunt, who passed away at the age of 88, was from Chicago, a world-renowned sculptor. And his material was from junkyards, car parts, scrap metal, those sorts of things. Sculpturing would be a big project. He taught himself how to weld, but it's possible. The world here, anything that you can think that you would like to do, you can take up. Cycling here is huge, and there's groups that go. It's not unusual for me on the weekend to pass 200 or 300 cyclists on the highway, and you can get into a cycling group. There are many things here that I think you would find attractive if you became selfish enough to cut the ties wherever you live now and have a look at Colombia. It's a beautiful place to retire to. It's inexpensive. I think there's things here that are much better than you have in your home country, and it's worth having a look at. I have a lot of videos here. I have passed on a lot of information. I'm going to bring pricing up to date in the next little while. So the food costs, they say that they're coming down here now. I haven't seen it yet, or at least recognized it. But if that's the case, the cost of living is going to drop even farther. Please subscribe if you find the channel of interest. You can click on the round photo up in the corner, and it helps get the information out to more people. William Hutchison, Armenia Columbia Realty for Expats, and Salento Columbia Realty signing off. I live in paradise, and you can too.